Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Jim.
And this is Danny.
She's back.
I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back.
Thankfully.
I know.
These solo runs are hard.
It's just much better with me in it.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Plus, like it's difficult to speak of things without some sort of discourse.
Some feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it.
So yeah, folks, listen to last week's episode. Danny was out sick, and which is unfortunate because she had a lot of things.
I did have a lot of feelings about Birdemic that I did not get to share with the world, but this isn't the time.
Maybe we'll do some sort of bonus thing. Bonus Birdemic bitch. And rants. Yeah, is what it is. News. We have some newses.
We do?
We do. So last episode, I did mention that the whole thing about David Ryan Keith's script that came to us, we proved he did the whole thing and it came back. I haven't seen the release date, but he has a trailer out there, folks. So go to Clear Focus Movies and look for the trailers for Primal Games.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been holding off on naming it because, things can happen. Yeah, it's going to be for everyone to see. And yes, we will be covering it. And yes, we will get David on here to talk about it. Because apparently it was an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard some stories.
And, we'll see what those come out to. Sadder news. We lost Dame Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
And that's just really sad. Really sad. It was encouraging. I saw Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Or Emma Watson.
Emma Watson.
I know. Well, Emma Thompson came first. So Emma Watson put out, I think, a very beautiful statement on the passing of Maggie Smith, on how it took her to become an adult to understand the magnitude of opportunity that she was afforded being in the same room as this woman. Because when you're a kid, you have no concept, right? I mean,
it's just another adult on set.
Right. It's an actor you need to be afraid of and impressed and like, they're going to do a really good job. I should too, kind of thing, I just thought it was very sweet. It was just a very sweet thing. Cause she was an amazing woman with an amazing career.
Yeah.
And a lot of ups and downs, but, this is the thing. It's every few episodes, we're going to be announcing the passing of somebody. And, there's a couple generations that are leaving us.
Raise your wands.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks.
As of the recording of this.
Yeah. Well, from yesterday. So the day before the recording of this, we will be on Making Pondo, Talking Pondo.
Yes.
The Pondo podcast.
Yes. It'll be the Talking Pondo version. Because they have kind of two types of episodes they do.
Yeah, they announce which one it's going to be. So when they are talking Pondo, then they talk about movies, and we have 2 movies that we're going to discuss between the 4 of us, and they'll discuss between themselves, and it's movie nerd stuff.
Yeah,
and it's not always down to the super nitty gritty details of like, almost as if you were there kind of thing.
Well, yeah, they don't go beat by beat like we do. They kind of watch the movies and then they just give their thoughts on various things. They tell stories about the production of the movies that they know about. They tell stories about maybe like the release.
Movie nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Making Pondo is when they talk with people they have made their movies with.
Yes.
So, give it a listen, folks, because the folks that they have worked with, they're just awesome. We have only spoken to a handful of people that they've worked with. And
they work with a lot of exceptionally talented people.
They really do. They really do. And some of the stories are really awesome on how people have kind of, they met them and then they sort of like fell into the fold.
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that's just not something that happens in a studio, top studio thing.
Right. Like when you make independent film, what you're really doing is you're building a family.
Yes. Yeah. And they have.
Mhm.
And it's wonderful. So yeah, give them a listen, and we'll announce. Us doing this every 2 weeks makes it hard to be timely with announcements. But maybe we'll try to put something
We can put a
out
post
there.
out.
Yeah, we'll put a post out. Follow the Instagram, folks. Bravo for the B-side. And we'll chuck something out there. Give that episode a listen. I'm trying to think anything else that has been newsworthy. We have yet another script who has yet cleared yet another beginning hurdle for yet another competition.
Oh yeah, it's in the bucket of what is it, like quarter finalists right now?
Quarter, yeah, semis this week.
Yeah.
They'll announce which we'll be in. And then comes the long slog. Do we make it to finalists? And will this be the one?
We'll find out.
Yeah, this one's for our sci-fi series that has had so many people say this is awesome. We've gone through this so many times.
Yeah, this is awesome, but so expensive.
It's so expensive. Make a comic book, write a book, or do a web series or something. So
we're already doing a pirate thing.
Yeah. Or yeah, have something in this wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Or space.
Sure.
Space. Always something in the space. Fucking space, man. Anyway, I think that's really all there is. Except for this whole movie we're going to talk about.
Well, I've been waiting all day for my cousin to have a baby.
Oh, that is true. Yes, at some point during the recording of this, there might be a baby born.
Yes.
Which is kind of awesome. So it's, Danny's, she'd be the next youngest cousin.
Yeah, she's my cousin.
Little man's
yes.
quite, far down. Prior to him, she was the youngest.
Yeah, on that side.
Okay. On that side, yeah. So, been married for a couple of years. Great guy. And
I'm very excited for them.
The countdown has been going on, and it started yesterday at noon.
I know. This poor girl.
And right now, so we'll say Saturday at noon. It is right Central Time. It is now Sunday, 9:12 p.m. It's still going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fingers crossed. And, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
They're such wonderful people.
I'm so excited for them.
Oh, we'll be seeing the baby sometime probably then.
It'll be a real cute baby.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One night this week. Okay. Well, we have a movie. We jumped back into
horror.
Yeah. And well, let's get into this thing. And we have some things to talk about after.
Yeah. We'll get into that once we've walked you through the film.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about it.
Tell me, tell us, tell the world. What do we have?
We have the movie Hypochondriac. It was done in 2022. It was written and directed by Addison Heyman, I want to say.
Sure.
I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, so I'm sorry if that's the case. Starring Zach Villa, Devin Gray, and Madeline Zima. As with most independent films, it did not get a rating. Here is the logline. A young potter's life devolves into chaos as he loses function of his body while being haunted by the physical manifestation of his childhood trauma.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, yeah, it's accurate.
Okay. Well, let's start talking. So we start with a home video of a dude in a werewolf costume. And it's very home video looking, so that's how you know. And then we cut to a kid, a slightly older kid, in bed, and there's some glass breaking. You hear glass breaking sound. He slowly moves through the house in the dark, and we hear wolves baying outside. He gets to the bathroom, there's broken glass in the sink. And then we see in all this broken stuff, his mom sneaks up behind him. And then now we're in the car driving, and then we're at a hotel room, and she's asking for a cell phone. Then she says that he's in collusion with, quote, him, and just starts to freak out a little bit. After mumbling to herself, all kinds of discordant conversation with herself, she hugs her son and keeps saying, it's going to be okay. Then she starts to strangle him. I just wrote, Jesus Christ. Now she's singing to him, hugging him. Next morning, he's trying to cover the bruises on his neck with the collar of her shirt. Mom apologizes, and there's just like this big rambling thing. Says she'll pick him up from baseball practice. All right, so we cut, and then later he's standing with two teammates, and they're bitching about her not picking them up. They haven't shown up. And then a text message is superimposed on the screen saying she's on the way to the mental hospital. And just a quick note, there's a lot of text messages throughout this, and they're superimposed on the screen. So, it's been said. Now you know. He gets home. He calls out for his dad. He finds him upstairs reading. He tells the boy, don't go in the kitchen, that he'll clean it up in the morning. So, of course, the kid goes in there. And it's a huge mess with this big, the kitchen knife. That one shape, size kitchen knife that is everywhere is lying on the floor. Then we see on the screen 18 years later, and then we see someone working with clay, and presumably it's the kid grown up.
Right.
It's a nice transition. We have a montage of him working with clay, firing up a kiln, dancing while working. So he's just all over this, the shop.
He's jamming.
Yeah. Having it on. And in there, he's texting and dancing. And then he opens this closet door. And there's this young woman in there who we learn is Sasha. She is in there having some sort of a meltdown.
Yeah, she's having a panic attack.
Yeah. So he's trying to help, getting her to focus on something. And it's interesting because he does a well-known exercise for this kind of thing on when someone is having a breakdown like that, steering them in. It's not so simple as look at my finger. 1, 2, 1, 2, So I thought this was actually, Yeah,
I thought it was actually very nice.
Yes. He ends up succeeding. There's, moments here and there. And getting her to do the crap rap.
Yeah.
Or to do crap rap. And it's I don't like rap anyway. This wasn't particularly good, but bingo, right? It hooked her and it got her, and he ends up pulling her out of this panic attack. Later, he's talking with his boss. His phone rings. It says it's his mother. He freezes for a moment. And this was just the beginning of this woman in this movie, his boss.
Oh, yeah. She's something.
She's just out of the blue says if he was straight, she would totally date him. And so up to this point, we've had a bit of a roller coaster. We've had this kid, this weird thing going on. Weird dad kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? The whole thing with mom. And, he's at work and his coworkers, got some issues and he helped her out. And then this woman, which through all of this struck me the most odd. I mean, there's that level of, this is stuff with life that happens and goes on.
Right.
Good and bad. But this woman was like a wild card absolutely inappropriate. And I wasn't sure if this was a setup or not for something down the road. It's
Right.
just, I actually felt creepy. The rest.
Well, yeah, she was creepy.
Yeah. Anyway.
So then he's at home. His boyfriend of 8 months, we know that because I think they say it at some point.
Yeah.
Is cooking. So they're kind of talking about their day. And his boyfriend's name is Luke.
Yes.
Luke asks, and I still don't know the main guy's name. The mom called him Lindo, but that doesn't sound like a real name.
Same here. Yeah, I didn't get his name till later.
Yeah. Anyway, so Luke asks if he wants to have brunch with Luke's mom on Sunday. And then Luke is like, oh, fucked that. Because we learned that he's told Luke his mom is dead.
Yes.
Right? And so Luke's like, oh, sorry, if you don't want to go. And he's like, no, it's fine, So this is where I wrote, there's already a lot going on in this movie, so I'm going to do the best I can with my notes. Lindo has received a package of some kind. And inside is just a bunch of random stuff, DVDs, notes, cards, stickers, handwritten bullshit.
Yeah.
And there's a voice memo. There's a little voice recorder in it.
Yes.
He plays it, and it's his mom talking, telling him not to trust Luke. She goes on about a bunch of stuff, but at the end, she's like, "Don't trust Luke."
Right. Can I stop for a second?
Yeah.
So for me, this was super confusing.
Yes.
Okay. Because I was finishing up a note when that bit happened. I thought he had, because of the Mother's Day conversation.
Yeah.
I thought he had gone and pulled a box of his old shit out.
Oh.
Right. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, why did he save all this stuff? And then he finds that recorder and plays it. And I'm like, well, no, wait a minute. Is this real?
Oh.
What? It took me a second to recalculate and
Mm-hmm.
recalibrate the whole situation. But yeah, you got to keep your eyes on the screen, folks. If you don't have to take notes, let me tell you, this one, it's a watcher.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So then there's another interaction with his boss. She's like this airhead rich kid. She's not super nice.
No.
Anyway, he's unloading a shipment of clay at work, and he's sort of struggling with it. Clay is heavy.
Yeah.
And then this wolf appears briefly, and he falls. And then he's talking to his boyfriend. His boyfriend calls him Will. So now I've got his name.
Yes, I called him Dude up to this point.
So then he's having a conversation with Luke. And then Luke says something like, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's something that his mom said in the little memo thing. And he ends up dropping a plate. And then mom calls again and says that Luke is not kind. You can hear dogs and wolves outside. It's already very confusing, this film. What and when and where we are.
Right.
And then at work, Sasha's asking him about Luke, and Will is uncomfortable because he's had this conversation with Luke where Luke's wanting to know stuff about him.
Right.
And he says that he's uncomfortable with that. And then Sasha mentions her grandmother's cabin and says he can use it if he needs to get some time away or go with Luke, have whatever conversations they need to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Will experiences some dizziness again, kind of like with the boxes, and he sees these weird things on his skin, big boils, or not boils, but
giant blisters.
Burns? Yeah.
Big burn blisters.
Yeah.
But they're almost rectangularly shaped.
They're very strange.
Because he will see them again.
Yeah.
But, and I thought that's what I saw, and then it just kind of confirmed. I'm like, yeah, it's weird. It's not just a regular blister. It has specific shape to it. I don't know if that meant anything or not that I missed out on, but I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah. And a wolf is calling him. And then he wakes up to Sasha asking if he's okay because he's passed out. And she tells him to go to the doctor. And then he is Googling his symptoms.
Oh, God, yes.
And a lot of things come up, but schizophrenia comes up, which at this point you're like, that's probably what his mom had.
Right.
So the doctor comes in and Will explains the symptoms. And the doctor's kind of like, you're stressed, you need to eat, we'll do some labs, but you'd be surprised what stress can do to a person's body.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's at home. Another package has arrived. And mom's left another voicemail. She says she's left a voicemail on his phone. She says she's spoken with Luke and he's very logical.
Right.
And Will is like kind of trying to tell Luke what's going on. But it almost seems like he doesn't really know how to tell him what's going on.
No.
And Luke is kind of mad. He's like, we have to tell each other stuff and rely on each other. Otherwise, this isn't a relationship and it's not going to work. So they decide to go to the cabin for the weekend and then come home Sunday for Luke's mom. Which, if you are having a fight with your significant other, the answer to solve your problems is not to escape for a weekend, because it's not like you're going to be able to talk somewhere else better than you can talk where you are.
Yeah.
That's just some life advice for free from me.
There you go. I want to just back up a little bit. So while Luke is telling him, that this is what life is about, sharing relationships, right? Will just blurts out the whole bit with his mom.
Oh, yeah, he does.
When I was 12, my mother tried to kill me, and that's how we found out she was mentally ill. And then exits the scene, which I thought,
okay.
That's a boatload of information to dump in somebody's lap at the epoch of a argument / let's get real about the relationship. This is how things work. And we got oh yeah, by the way, my mom just almost, tried to kill me. And then we found out she was nuts and walk out of the room.
Right.
But Luke's going to be up all night unpacking that.
Mm-hmm.
So at the cabin, Luke, who is apparently really good at cooking.
Yeah.
Is making breakfast. There's a whole scene with mushrooms. Will gets a call, and it's the doctor telling him he has a very serious vitamin D deficiency and will write a prescription. Now, let me back up a little bit. So when he was at the doctor's, right, the doctor's like, it could be just, when you're stressed and stuff. Will insisted on tests.
Right. The doctor was like, we could do labs if you really want. And Will was like, yes.
Yeah. And this was a very common thing with hypochondriacs.
Yes.
They will always demand tests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got that. But I think, without getting too deep into it, it was a little too on the nose, the way the doctor brushed everything off and said it's probably stress. Well, he actually told me at one point it might be neuropathy and it'll be gone in a couple of days. Now, as a 37-year sufferer of fucking neuropathy in my leg, I don't know where that came from, but it did piss me off a little bit. Anyway, so he's calling back with this vitamin D deficiency. I guess we don't have the results back yet. Will is stumbling around with lots of voices and growling. His mom's voice, more growling. There's this whole almost 60s style psychedelic.
It's very surreal and
visual,
scary.
Yes, going on. It is disorienting to watch.
Yeah.
And then the screen goes black. And we hear Will saying that there's something really wrong with himself. He ends up waking up Luke in a panic and asks, are there wolves in the woods? Now, I don't want to describe that scene prior to this, because I think for folks who are going to watch this, let it hit them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kind of just skipped over my sentence there. And Luke says there are no wolves. It's just the shrooms. Later, Will is in the hot tub. This one's not a giveaway because it's in the trailer. He hears sounds and then hears something calling his name. then hears, "Help me," which is a little, I mean, it hit home. It was a little creepy, you know. And then he sees that wolf head thing. And by that, it looks like what was obviously his wolf costume.
Right.
But that face is not what he would, that was.
No, it's different.
This wolf face is fucked up.
It's real scary.
Yes. So I call it the wolf head thing. And all of a sudden it just like, comes at him, right? Freaks him out. And then next thing, he has bloody hands. And then he's under the water. And then it's morning. Will is in the car. Luke comes up and asks if his arms are okay. Will says no. Luke asks if he's going to skip brunch. Very kind of...
like he's expecting it.
Yeah, kind of like, I knew this was going to happen, but not outwardly.
Yeah, like Luke's very irritated.
Yeah. And up to this point, I just want to say, Will is going through all this stuff, but Luke has actually, been like super cool.
Well, he has. And he's actually upset because Will, back during the trip, was like, can we actually postpone talking about my past because it's making me very anxious? And Luke is like, oh my God. Okay.
Sure.
Right.
Yep. Okay. So anyway, he gets in the car, they start to argue, and he's like, we're learning stuff about each other. And he said that today he learned that Will is manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't buttery about it. But
no.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of things we're going to talk about, but I want to say at this point, I tap my microphone again. To this point, I have enjoyed the conversation because it's very uneven. And that's very realistic.
Yeah.
There's somebody who's not in control of things, and there's somebody who's in control. And I don't mean controlling the other person, but Luke is very much in control of himself.
Oh yeah.
He knows what he wants. He knows what's important, and he knows he's in love with Will, and and that's fine. But he's also not a submissive. He's not going to bow down. He lets his tone express what he's feeling. And up to this point, he hasn't been mean about anything, and even in this bit.
Right.
I didn't take it as mean. I took it as, oh, yeah. Because I know people who have acted like this, like in front of me. And I think we all have someone at one point in our lives, this couple that acts this way. You're just like, oh, man. So I understand what Luke represented. So after the manipulative thing, Will is at another doctor's office, and he's seeing claw marks on his back. Now, at this point, I knew they were bullshit.
Right.
Because these things were deep. I mean, they weren't bloody, but
right.
I mean, you could see like 2 inches into his back on each claw mark. It was wild. I'm like, oh my God, he's
right. And we'd just seen his hand being just like broken apart in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And then it was fine.
Yeah. Just a lot of stuff going on. And of course there aren't any when the doctor comes in. This doctor does some basic tests, and then he says he thinks it's just stress.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the whole, be surprised what stress can do to your body. Okay. And we have some more tests ordered. And then tells Will, no more Googling.
Yeah.
I just want to comment on that. I get that. And that has actually, before this, shown up. It hasn't been for a while, but it was kind of heavily used when this actually did become almost, a crisis. When all this medical information started showing up online and people expanded their access to the internet,
mm-hmm.
This was a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not just hypochondriacs, but just people who just don't know, right? It's that whole thing. You pick up a medical book, you start flipping through pages, you clock 5 of the 30 symptoms, and you look at it, and it's like, Bengali fever. You haven't been to Bengali. There's no way. But I like the actor who did it.
Right.
Had just like the right expression and tone and everything. No more Googling. I thought that was, I enjoyed that. I don't know.
I do think if you have been like trying to see a doctor for months about something and like no one can figure out what's going on, that at one point maybe start doing a little research of your own, educate yourself on different stuff. But especially if you have like health anxiety, as a lot of people do, don't Google your symptoms because only the worst thing pops up.
I mean, well, and that's it. And it's just it. You hit the right word, anxiety.
Yes.
Your anxiety is going to make you see the words differently. And pretty soon you're not even seeing the words. Your brain is formulating the worst information and everything. And it could be talking about lollipops and kittens on the screen, right? Mm-hmm. But that anxiety takes over and you're not getting information. You're just killing yourself. So no more Googling.
And tells him to take some time off.
Oh, yep. Take some time off. And do you want to take this part?
Well, so he goes to work to tell his boss that he needs to take some time off. And she says, well, if you need to do that, then I'm going to have to replace you. So he can't take time off. So then he's making pottery again. He hears a message from his mom through his AirPods telling him or calling him an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, there's like a lot of noises. There's loud sound, more sounds. It's like he looks at the loading door. I think it's the wolves again, but I can't like understand what's going on. And then it seems like someone is stuck in the kiln. And he opens the kiln and reaches his arm in while it's on the kiln.
Yes, full burn.
Okay. And this is not, so if you're imagining a kiln, one of the things you're probably imagining is one of those like top loading kilns that are smaller, right?
Something from art class in 8th grade.
This is a large kiln.
Industrial.
With a large sort of like cooler sized door that you open. So he cracks the door open, sticks his arm in while this thing is on, and kilns get very hot. And there's a wolf in there like burning up. And he's like trying to help it. And he has severely burned his arms. And then we have him like with the bandages on. He's talking to Luke. Luke is asking him what is going on. Is it his mom? Luke says that she's emailed him, or that Will's mom has emailed him. And Will gets very upset about this, says that Luke lied to him about talking to his mom, blah, 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 and they should break up.
Mm-hmm.
So Will goes to stay with his dad. And he is asking him if he can call a psychiatrist. And the dad is like very disconnected. This dad is like apathetic to the point of some sort of clinical problem.
Right? He is exponentially worse than he was at the beginning of the film when he's just reading the newspaper and he's like, don't worry about the kitchen, I'll clean it tomorrow.
Right.
I had him as just aloof and invalidating. I mean, it couldn't be any further removed from this.
He might as well not even be there.
Right.
I mean,
not a fan of Dad.
No. Luke gets another message from Mom saying that she's in Puerto Rico hiding from people.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he thinks something is in the bandage in his arm. So he's like crushing his burnt arms up.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And Dad finds him in the kitchen with a cat having a panic attack. Like, so he's holding this cat. He's clearly in the middle of freaking out. And Dad just basically ignores him.
Yeah. All but steps over him to like get a soda. I mean, that kind of just disregard.
Yeah. And then it's his dad like acting like a dick that kind of breaks him out of his panic attack. Because Will's like, do you care? Mm-hmm. Do you see what's happening? So then he's at a psych office. And he sees this like dog poster on the wall that has actually shown up a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's dog. Like This little princess dog.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
I know. It winks.
Yeah.
Every time you see it.
Yeah.
Just real subtle wink.
It's creepy.
It is creepy.
There's a lot of things this movie does well about creepy things.
Visually, there's a lot of things that it's subtle enough not to be obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
Like stopping the movie and someone coming in and saying their piece and then leaving.
Yeah.
Right. But it even though it's subtle,
mm-hmm.
you don't miss it.
Right.
Like, oh, that thing again.
Right.
You know,
and it's like, I think this is maybe the third time this poster has popped up.
Yes.
But it's the first time I wrote about it.
Yeah, because
now it's just been repeated over and over.
You're focused on other things.
Yeah.
But in this scene, it was more prevalent
mm-hmm.
in the scene than the other ones.
Yes.
It was there, but we were so focused on what else was going on.
Yeah.
And I thought that was that directorially.
It's well done.
Was a good visual.
Yeah. So he tells the psychiatrist that he needs to know if what's going on isn't real. And if it isn't real, like he's seeing this wolf, he's worried that he's schizophrenic like his mom. And the psychiatrist is like, why do you think it's a wolf? Why a wolf?
Right.
And he's like, I don't know. So the psychiatrist ends up prescribing him antipsychotics.
Yes.
Because something is very clearly wrong with him. Right? But
mm-hmm.
what? So then he's talking to his dad over dinner.
Well, can I say something? Because there's a key thing here.
Okay.
Just before he leaves, and this was kind of weird because I didn't there was nothing leading to the connection. This was like a C- scene.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Do you remember what I told you before you left for college? Run."
Oh.
And I'm like, well, oh, he knows her?
Yeah, he's seen her before. It's the same one that he saw before.
Yeah.
Before, like when his mom's breakdown happened.
Right. But that was a kind of an important piece. Nothing had been alluded to that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I stopped what I was writing and I made sure to write that down. Like, wait a minute. But that's all. He just told you to run.
Right.
And we got nothing more. And spoiler, there'll be nothing more about that. That was it.
Good stuff. So then he's talking to his dad over dinner. And his dad tells him that he dressed like a wolf for Halloween every year in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Although the video of him dressed as a wolf at the very beginning, he did not look like an elementary school kid. He looked like a teenager. But we're just going to sort of slide right past that. And Dad says that one year Mom was supposed to take Will trick-or-treating, but instead she broke into the law firm and took a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And then Will says that he wants to go to Mom's house, which is the house that he grew up in. He wants to go there the next day to I don't know, look for stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Dad argues just take your meds and it will end.
Right. Which, I mean, sounds like, maybe that's why Dad's so disconnected, because he's just sick of this garbage.
I mean, maybe. I mean, this is so much to talk about on the back end of this.
Yeah.
The thing about that line, take your meds and it will end, Will asks, what if they don't work? Mm-hmm. And then Dad, this guy's a fucking piece of work, man. I tell you. Looks at him and says, then you'll become like your mother and end up in a mental hospital. With that, not even that much emotion or intonation, right? Just kind of like, just get the fuck out of here. I don't want to deal with this. So, Will is now in a car, being driven. There's a voicemail from Mom. She's blathering again. I stopped trying to figure out what she was saying and to track it, because I'm like, she's just going off.
It's just nonsense. It's all nonsense.
If there was anything at any point that seemed like there was a key moment, right, based on what she was saying, I would pause, go back, and take notes on that. Mm-hmm. But no. just going on. He's at the house. And I did put it in here. I'm not clear why this house still exists. This is 18 years later. Dad is clearly in his own place.
Yeah.
Right? Will has been living with wherever, but at this point he's been living with Luke for 8 months, roughly, we'll say. I don't know. Didn't say.
We can assume they've been living together for a while.
Yeah, at least 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? And this house, because Dad talked about like his study is locked or there's some sort of key, or no, she did. In one of her note things, there's a key.
I don't know.
Some shit. Anyway, so I don't have any idea how to explain this, but let's move forward, shall we?
Well, I wrote in here, I don't know why he keeps listening to these voicemails from Mom.
I have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
I don't know why either, but I have a lot of advice for Will.
Yeah.
So he's in there. He's walking around. He's looking through drawers, cabinets, in furniture cushions. I mean, just looking everywhere. And this is something I'm going to talk about. But this is where I officially started to check out from this film. I had some issues with some things. We have an absolutely unnecessary. I can only think of this in like some sort of college frat boy humor level movie, like hot tub movies and, all that stupid shit. But we have the pleasure of watching him full screen using a bidet.
Yeah.
And I don't mean from like the classic, you could show this on network television kind of thing. I mean, the only thing missing was a bidet view of a dirty asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm almost done with this kind of shit. Because it served fucking nothing.
Yeah, there was no reason.
So anyway, somehow later he finds key to his mother's old study.
Mm-hmm.
He goes in and it's a mess. There are weird posties everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's some clipboard with papers about Luke. So I'm like, no, well, wait a minute. If she was locked up forever, that fucking house would not have been there for her. You know what I mean? Even if for like 5 years.
I know.
It's
not clear how long she was locked up, whether she's been getting out, if she has ever gotten out even, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything's pretty unclear.
We know she's been out because in that office, there's all those stickers. The stuff that's laying on the top of stuff, all that shit. It's in there in the office. And I was looking, there's a couple posties. That clipboard sold it though. Before the clipboard came into view, I'm looking at those posties and I'm thinking, those look a little too on point. I mean, is she like psychic? Did she prep all this shit 18 years ago? Let's just get to him.
Or did Will do it all?
Right? What's going on? Because this is where the threads start to unravel. Now. So, and then there's a CD in that clipboard. There's a piece of paper with a CD taped to it, or DVD or something. But on it is written evidence. And then we cut to Will, who's outside, and he's burning all that shit.
Yeah.
Don't even know that he looked through it. It's just all being burnt up. And then it's nighttime. And he's walking through the house. He hears some singing. Finds a room with the video of him in his wolf costume from the beginning playing. And the other wolf he sees is flashing in and out. So, I'm gripping what's happening. Where are we going with this? And then Dad is setting up a camera in the kitchen. So it's a security camera that's being installed. And of course, Dad's installing it. So his face is right there. Right. And then we see a bunch of clips of what this camera has caught over whatever period of time he had it up. There's so him setting it up. We have video of the mom yelling at him. Another clip of her ranting about Dad planting a bomb. And there's stuff taken apart on the counter. Then she's putting something in a pot. I couldn't see what it was. Now it says dinner is ready. It looked like she was
poisoning it.
I'm like, yeah, she's poisoning,
Yeah.
Um,
she stops Will from eating the poisoned soup.
Little Will comes in. 12-year-old Will comes in, starts serving up. She comes running in and takes the plate. Another clip of Will telling her she needs to take her medications. And if she doesn't, he's no longer her son and won't talk to her ever again. She's like, oh, I will take my things. And then the final clip is of the cops coming in, taking her away. So this was the breakdown.
Right.
This was her losing her shit in the kitchen. We see the knife hit the floor, and then the cops are gone. And that is the mess Dad was talking about in the beginning. Okay. And then, so now that we see Will, we're back to real Will.
Mm-hmm.
And he is sitting next to the wolf thing. He looks at it, and it looks back at him. So it's outside now. Will follows it. And he's working, and then he's working with the clay. Like there's a pottery wheel somewhere out in the yard. And then the wolf thing is behind him, and and then we get another ghost-like scene from the movie Ghost.
It's not a movie unless you pay homage to the movie Ghost for some reason.
If anybody's working with clay, you've got to have that scene.
I guess.
I mean, on its face, it's not bad, right? It's back in the 90s. Patrick Swayze, doing his thing. Everyone got it. But the problem is, those of us who lived through it the first time have had to live through the horror of being absolutely inundated by this fucking scene done so many different ways for commercials, comedies, movies, whatever.
I remember when that movie came out. I remember watching it. I remember going, like, I guess Patrick Swayze is kind of hot, but this movie isn't that good, honestly.
It was so cheesy. I was just going to say it.
It was so campy.
Oh, my God. He was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
After this, skyrocketed. And they parodied the fuck out of this. And he enjoyed it so much you could see it. He was just like, I'm not ashamed of how stupid I look at this movie. This is almost as bad as Dirty Dancing.
He made a shitload of money on that movie.
Yeah, they did. Okay. So he's working with the clay. We got the ghost scene. And then it cuts. And then the wolf cuts his throat from behind.
Yeah.
With his claw. And then he's laughing. Will is laughing maniacally as blood pours out of his neck into the clay that's on the wheel. And he's still working it.
Yeah.
Right. And then we cut to him getting put into an MRI. I will say we could have done without the sounds.
Yeah.
So I'm big on sound in film. Everything needs to be appropriate. I did my big bitch about the gunshots of Birdemic last episode.
Yeah.
Because fuck, I mean, you weren't here for it, but I had, because I had my notes that we muted it because it was so fucking annoying, and that didn't do anything to the quality of experiencing the movie by having zero sound. So yeah, and if you haven't been in an MRI, folks, or seen a movie where it's happened, find a metal trash can, lean over it, stick your head in, and ask your partner, friend, or whatever to just bang that fucker with a bat. That's what these things sound like.
Yeah.
And we don't, and this was like real life decibels. We didn't need that. I was super annoyed by that, and it took a long time for it to go away. Okay. Then we cut to a hospital room, and there's that stupid dog poster again.
Yeah.
And we got another doctor comes in and says the MRI is clear. Tests show he's healthy. Will asks, what if the symptoms keep going? Doc says, see a psychiatrist. Will says he is. And then the doctor says, it can take weeks. See a psychiatrist and get some meds. And then he says it can take weeks or months for the meds to kick in.
Yeah, because he's only been on them for like 4 days or something. according to him.
Yeah, hasn't been that long. So then we cut to him opening a door, and then Luke is outside. Will cries on his shoulder. And then we see Luke shaving Will, who did mention earlier when the stuff started with his arms and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? You know, Luke's like, do you need anything? Will's like, well, I could, use a trim. But he lifts his arms up, like, I can't do anything with these. So we see Luke doing it for him. Then they're eating. Luke is cutting his food. And Will is just in bad shape, quite understandably. Physically, mentally, you can just see it.
Yeah.
Right? And this is the point I checked out of the movie.
So then it turns sexual, which is an unhealthy way to deal with the situation at hand in real life. And also it was extremely uncomfortable. Not because it's two men, but just because it was done in such a creepy, weird way.
It had no place being in the movie. And again, because, new listeners and stuff, let's make it super clear. We don't care how many people of what gender identification. None of that shit is important. It doesn't matter to us. Right? It's so the fact that it's two gay men, that's just fucking fine. My problem was, it was, like you said, and we're going to talk about this. I was not a fan of this happening. It was also super unnecessarily graphic. That didn't help.
Yeah.
It actually, whatever was supposed to be woven in that moment, to me, was lost. Because I was already half checked out with the bidet thing.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. Without getting too deeply into it.
Mm-hmm.
You can show a sex scene in a movie between two men, women, a woman and a man, a whoever and a whoever, without it being pornographic.
Right.
And this was pornographic.
Yeah. I mean, that's a different genre.
Yeah.
That's not the genre that we wanted to do.
Right.
We thought it was a horror movie. Anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, you said you.
Well, from this point, I have a big rant here.
Okay.
That I'm not going to get into, because we're going to cover bits of it. But yeah, at this point, I have nothing more to say about this film.
Okay.
In terms of taking notes.
Well, let me go through the final beats of the film.
Yeah, bring us to the end.
Okay. So at some point during the sex scene, Will tells Luke to stop because it's becoming a rape scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns and sees the wolf, and this is why sex is not a good idea with a psychologically fragile person. Again?
Yeah.
So Luke starts singing Mom's lullaby. Will freaks out. He hits Luke, who says he's going to be alone for the rest of his life. And all these little flashbacks that Will is now having about this whole situation where Luke's been taking care of him. Luke's not actually there. Will is alone.
Right.
Right?
Yep. That wasn't enough to bring me back in, though.
And then Will grabs the knife, starts cutting into his bandages. And into his arms. Yeah. And then he wakes up uncut. I don't know what,
It didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And his mom is in the corner. And she says that if he breaks into her house, then it's fine for her to break into his. And I don't even know what this place is. It's like this little flat. He's never been here before in the whole movie. But whatever. She made coffee. She says she came to take care of him until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a weird thing to say.
Yes.
She says they tested him as a child, but his father said not to tell him.
Yeah.
And then he ends up trying to strangle her. The wolf is there with him. Then he's trying to kill himself again. And the wolf is correcting him on the right way to cut your wrists.
Yeah.
Which I also have never been a big fan of putting that in films.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Anyway, Will instead stabs the wolf. And then there's a lot of nonsense going on. And then ultimately, Will is crying on Luke's steps. Real Luke in their old flat.
Yeah.
And then he's in a mental hospital. He's talking to the wolf. This doctor comes in, asks how he's feeling. He says, better. And then while they're talking, like, the wolf goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was worried that he had killed his mom. But apparently his mom... The doctor says that his mom was there 30 minutes ago, but they told her to go away. They wouldn't let her see him.
Right. He was not. No, that was not something that he needed to.
Well, they made that decision for him.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And she asked him if he's willing to do the work to feel normal again. And then we've got a little montage of him doing like physical therapy and some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's sitting on a bench when Luke approaches and sits near him. And the wolf is sitting on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
Yeah. So, strap in, folks. Because we have some thoughts.
We have thoughts.
Not just on the movie itself. I mean, we're going to talk about some stuff. And we're going to talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? From camera work, direction, writing, to a bunch of stuff that you can smell it coming, can't you? You can smell the bacon cooking. Because, yeah, I've got some bitches. And I'm going to get my box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, should we talk about this thing?
Let's talk about it.
All right. So before we get into talking about this film, let me just say, go to our Patreon. Go to our website. Sign up for Patreon, please. Patreon.com, Bravo for the B-side. You can also go to our website, lordsofmistworldproductions.com, and there's a Patreon link for the podcast and for the production company. It's important that we get people signing up because we, need to have this podcast pay for itself.
Yes.
And, right now, patrons, when we get more folks, then we'll offer some more things. But right now you get the episode a week early,
mm-hmm.
which, it's a pretty good deal. All of our episodes are on there, and once they're released to the public, they are always there. So even if you're not you just need to be a Patreon member.
Right.
So if you're thinking about it, you can go back if you want to listen to them through there. It's on Apple, Google, Amazon, Podchaser, blah, 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 all these other places. But please sign up. $5 a month. Well, it says 4 instead of 5, even though it was 5. But there's a lot of stuff going on with like the Apple Store and where you pay from and this and that. And so I don't know. We only have one tier. Sign up for it.
Yes.
It's $5. Maybe you'll get it for 4. I don't know what's going on. I don't have enough time to care. But also check out our YouTube channels. We have Bravo for the B-side, where we turn the audio into video. People like watching it like that. We have our Lords of Mistworld Productions channel, and we have B.F. McGillicuddy, Observations of Earth, B.F. McGillicuddy, which will, I keep saying it, which will eventually come back to life.
Yes.
Just time. Well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
BF's got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, yeah, hop to those things, sign up, and check us out on Instagram, Bravo for the B-side.
Correct.
And, when you see things, like them, share them, give a review on whatever platform you're listening to. It's just, all this stuff helps. I mean, this is the modern era. It's all algorithms, and you just got to click a lot of buttons and do a lot of shit to make things matter for folks. Like
Indeed.
us. So there it is. I'll probably say it one more time before we pop off. But let's talk about this movie and the things about it.
So, first of all, let's start with the good.
Yes.
Visually, this movie is excellent.
Yes. It can be not in an off-putting way, but it can be confusing.
Yeah, and I think it's meant to be.
Yes.
It's meant to be visually confusing and upsetting and disorienting.
Yes.
And it accomplishes all of those things.
Yes.
And not for nothing. it looks good. We watch a lot of movies. Birdemic is a good example of one. It looks like it was done on a home Panasonic little,
little guy in the drawer of that.
Yeah, those little handheld video cameras. This movie,
just if I may, if that's what you have,
there's nothing wrong with that.
That's what you have, right? There was some equipment, a little bit of cash on hand, clearly, and they made the most of it. So it looks really good.
It looks very professional. I mean, the sets are they're fine. They're a little bare bones. They're a little like, this doesn't look like a real apartment that somebody lives in. It looks like a show apartment kind of thing. But
yeah,
I mean, it still looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a little more thought could have gone into the set designs, but overall, they look professional.
Yeah.
The acting is very good.
Yes. There is nothing that I would be able to point out throughout this entire film in terms of the acting by any of the actors where I would say this could have been better this way, this that way, or this kind of fell flat. Dad was a dick.
Right.
And you just you didn't get the sense that the actor was phoning it in. You got the sense that Dad was phoning it in.
Right. That is the character.
Yes. And that's not an easy thing to pull off. To be such a despicable human being as to look like a bad actor.
Right.
To be a good enough actor to play that character, to bring that back around, that's tough.
Well, to act like a wooden person instead of being a wooden actor.
Right.
Yeah.
Unlike our Birdemic hero.
Yeah.
Walk like a puppet.
The effects were really good. So there are a lot of visual effects that are, sort of the hallucinations, the flashbacks, the transitions, but there's also sort of the practical visual effects of the kiln and the arms, and the burns and the blood. And boy, is there a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The throat slitting, like that was pretty good. Technically, I have nothing to complain about.
I was kind of torn about some of the warbly stuff because it kind of bordered on like the 60s psychedelic stuff. But I mean, I guess there's only so far you can go with it. Right.
Well, I mean, there's also stylistic choices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But B, there were so many subtle sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Coming through. You could hear them clearly, like the voices. You could probably watch this a dozen times. If you don't watch it with subtitles, you probably are never going to figure out fully what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I think it should be that way.
And the wolves howling and like all of these very surreal sort of extra sounds coming through, like it was edited very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
It was shot and acted and edited quite well.
Yes. Now, the non-technical stuff.
Right.
I checked out because a couple reasons. Number one, this is supposed to be a horror movie. I think the writing did not deliver what the log line said. Because this was supposed to be, this is another one that had all the accolades at the beginning, on the trailer.
Yes.
Like upwards of like 8 to 10.
Yeah, 8 to 10 like quotes from reviews about how great the movie is.
And one of them was a deep dive into mental illness, as seen from the inside, kind of like with the
right, some sort of like beautiful portrait of what a mental breakdown
is
like, or something like that.
And to bring us in, and I was expecting something a little different. it was clear to me that the director, who is also the writer,
Mm-hmm.
now from the direction standpoint, boom, like we just said, great.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. From the writing standpoint, not so great. Both of us are very close to and have been very close to people who have actually suffered a variety of mental illnesses.
Right, up to and including full-on breakdowns.
Yeah, breakdowns. We're talking about schizophrenia. We're talking about bipolar. We're talking about, depression, manic depression. Just go through the gamut.
Anxiety.
Yes.
I mean, the list goes on. And we're not alone in that. Everybody. I mean, it is not uncommon.
Right.
Everybody goes through this or knows somebody who goes through this or has helped them. It's not an uncommon problem. And that is one of my main beefs with this film is kind of like going back to All We Had, where they romanticized poverty.
Right.
This is romanticizing mental illness.
That's exactly how it came off with me. So where All We Had missed all of the layers in between those scenes, right? The web work. We didn't have the web. We didn't have those connectors. This didn't really, well, first of all, and we'll come back around this for other things. I know you've got some words on this, but in a movie, in any movie, right? I am adamantly opposed to sex of any kind, especially for shock value in a film where it doesn't fucking do anything. And for Birdemic, that was my whole thing. Everything that happens on the fucking screen that comes out of somebody's mouth moves the plot forward.
Needs to have a purpose.
Has to have a purpose. These, because I wrote some, quiet bitching at the very beginning. Because like Will, he's always talking about fucking and this and that. And I'm like, no, nobody is like that. No. I'm just going to say no. People who are together, we have comments to each other. Everyone who is together, we're all sexual beings. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm so tired of this like overreach depiction in LGBTQ films where I'm like, oh my God, really? Is this what we're going to take 10 minutes on? I get it. They're two people. They're in love, obviously, and you can show them in bed, but we don't need to go Tommy Wiseau level ridiculousness with sex.
Right.
Right. Because that was the most painful fucking movie. I mean, I think we clocked one at almost 11 minutes. Is that one?
I mean, I don't think there's ever been a movie that's made me more uncomfortable with a sex scene than The Room, which is the Tommy Wiseau film.
Yeah. So it's not who or why. It just didn't do anything. Didn't do anything bringing up all this sexualization. It just, it was like a shock value or, like you said, a style choice.
Right.
Okay. Well, it was the wrong choice. It didn't illustrate to me. Well, because here's the thing. The scene that I know you're going to want to talk about when he was having the fucking full on breakdown towards the end. We didn't have a scene with them in bed prior to this. We had no connection. We had some dancing, we had some talking, we had some butt grabbing and some kissing. That's fine. I understand they're in a relationship. They're close to one another. And okay, I see how what's going to affect Will can affect and will affect Luke.
Right.
Because they are that close. They're not just like we just started dating kind of thing. Right.
Right. But
in so many of these movies, whether it's horror or whatever, it's like, let's just stop for a minute. Everybody grab a chair. There's going to be some fucking. And let's just watch it. And then when it's done, we'll pick the movie back up. It is just, it's like the bidet scene. It was just such a shockingly, you couldn't pull me out of this movie quicker if you flew over with a helicopter and trapped me with a harness.
I know, it was very strange. Why?
There's enough of this movie where I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on?
It's literally him. He's sitting on a toilet, going to the bathroom, doing nothing else. It's not like anything else is going on. It's not like he's seeing a wolf in the corner while he's taking a shit.
He's having trouble with the bidet because he has, at one point he turns around and adjusts the stream.
Well, it's also not it's one of those where the bidet is a separate thing.
Yeah.
So there's like the toilet, and then next to it is the bidet toilet.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, it just didn't belong. It didn't belong. So and I know some people are going to, see this as a call out to, well, but this and that. And yes, there are movies, and it's not just LGBTQ films.
LGBT queef.
Yeah.
Did you say?
I just, it's just a lot of stuff. It's any movie, but there is a preponderance of this in these types of films, this category, which I'll talk about categories later. If it shows up and it doesn't belong, I'm not going to like it. I don't care who it is. I don't care why it is. I don't care what the theme of the movie is.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to fit. That's like my thing. If you're not propelling the story forward, you're doing me a disservice. You're wasting my time. It's almost like you just couldn't figure out how to catch or surprise. Anyway, what bugged me most about that not belonging is that time could have been used to live up to the horror.
Yeah.
Of the aspect of this being a horror film. I was a bit let down from the horror aspect.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Because
someone could say, but this isn't really a horror movie. It's a movie about mental illness. And you're like, no. I say, incorrect. Because it is a horror story about a mental breakdown.
Right.
Right?
Well, and I'll go at like a more superficial level. When it says horror under the fucking movie title, that's what I'm looking for. Because we just watched Old People. Oh, yeah, Old People. Some German on Netflix. It's a German movie about old people going nuts and killing people. Yeah. That was so creepy. That was weird, and I don't get it. But there's no mistake. That motherfucker was horror from beginning to end. It was weird. And by the time we got done with it, I was like, I still don't understand what's happening. But I will say, it was creepy. Yes, it was. It was definitely a horror film. So, I mean, that's kind of my biggest pet peeve. Or the two is, I don't like sexualizing things in movies. It's not the 80s anymore. Right? Right. Now, I just want to say real quick before we move on to something else. On that note, we have both noticed the extreme lack of nudity in so many, particularly horror movies. Horror movies as a preteen, that was my jam because that's where I could see tits day and night. What was it they said for those movies? What I think the trauma was like tits, blood. No, the documentary. Yeah. Blood, boobs, beast. Yes, blood, boobs, beast. Yep, that is the key to a horror movie, and that was 80s level. Well, key to a horror movie that sells. Yes. And I applaud the fact that we don't need to pay women to run around naked or topless in whatever the movie is, but particularly horror. Right. For no other reason than for some other 12-year-old who, well, it cost him more, but it cost me $1.25 to get into the theater. I was set. I mean, there it is. Let's all be real. There isn't a heterosexual man in the world who can honestly say, yeah, I passed up all the boob movies. I think what it did for me, the boobs in horror movies, is I would always get excited because I knew that when the boobs come out, that means there's going to be a killing. That is a fact. Boobs are murder magnets. Yes. The second they come out, within the next couple minutes. Yep. There's going to be some gore. Most likely her. Yeah, usually. It's 50-50. 9 times out of 10, it's her. Well, it's usually her, but 50-50 whether she goes first or the boyfriend goes first. Right. Because there's, that kind of thing. Except for like Friday the 13th when there's like a solo skinny dip. Yeah. Okay. That occasionally happens. But anyway, it is refreshing that we have moved well past that, and that the horror movies and stuff that are from top studio all the way down to, next to nothing budget indie films, they're relying on other things.
I mean, there are still boobs in
For the
some, a lot of horror movies, but it has gotten way down.
It's way down.
Way down.
And as 12 years old, I didn't think about all that was going on, but as I got older, I'm like, I'm kind of tired of this. I mean, not to be an asshole.
If there's too many boobs, you're like, my God, can we just get on with the...
We've done that. Remember?
I know.
I'm like, okay, I'm done with the tits. You've seen one tit, you've seen them all.
I know.
Can we get past all this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Couldn't do that with The Room, though. Because that was like a morbidly fascinating...
It's like watching a train wreck.
Where is this going?
How long could this possibly go on for?
And the answer is too long.
Yeah.
So coming back to this, like I said, I was hoping to really see an honest expression, because we need this. I want to go on record.
It's really important to normalize, talk about mental illness.
Yes, we do.
We desperately need it as a society, because we are still so far in the dark about being able to talk about it, being able to share your experiences, being able to learn from other people's experiences, being able to help each other, being able to treat mental illness in a way that isn't just, well, it's unbelievable what stress can do to a person.
Right. And what drew me into this was the description of it. And then I know we shouldn't do this, but we always do, the fucking accolades that come up in the trailer, which every time there's more than 2 accolades, it's pretty much let us down.
Yeah.
8 times out of 10.
It's a huge red flag.
Yeah. But I was excited to see this addressing mental illness as a horror film, not as somebody who lost their shit and went around killing people, which is the way it's been for decades.
Yeah.
Decades. The horror of having this, whatever the affliction is, and you can talk about it, you can get pills for it, you can do all this. But I don't think anyone has ever been able to adequately alliterate the nightmare of going through this kind of thing, for which there is no cure. And that's the most important part, which is why we need more honest looks, honest films, honest takes. You take pills, it can take months and months and months. And in that time...
And then you might find out that those aren't the right ones.
They're not it could take you years to get on the right
And I
track.
think, I mean, going kind of out of it a little bit more, but film is I feel like an excellent medium in which to talk about mental illness, because it can be extremely difficult to vocalize and verbalize what is happening.
Yes.
And we talked about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can show, right?
It's easier to show than tell.
Yes.
So I guess my thing is, I would have liked to have seen this have a little more research put into it. If you're going to write something like this, actually sit down and talk with people, learn some things. Because I feel like that was what was missing. Like the pure, just academic aspect of where to go with this.
I kind of disagree. Yeah. I think that the research was done. And I think quite possibly maybe it was a story close to I don't know this director very well.
Right.
But I think it was a story maybe close to, it says at the beginning, based on a real breakdown. Right. And so I think the research was probably done, except the approach on how to tell it, on how to address it, was done incorrectly.
I would agree with that. I mean, yeah.
Because there's a lot in here that's true. You try to go to a doctor to talk about the stuff that's going on, and
stress.
It's written off. It's stress.
Yeah.
We can't figure out what's wrong with you. We do all these tests. There's nothing obviously wrong with you.
Right.
Right. And that's that doctors have to have that evidence in order to back up their treatments.
Unless you're one of those people who actually has a physical malformation or something going on in your brain that can cause mental illness, symptoms.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's really a mental illness. Sometimes it's stuff operated and, but things going on in the brain physically can cause all this to happen.
Right.
Right?
A tumor could cause it, right?
Yeah.
But in most cases, there is not anything physical.
Right. An MRI is not going to pick that up.
I mean, we're at a point medically where we don't even know what causes migraines.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And so just because we don't know what causes a thing doesn't mean that thing doesn't exist. But that's what you're going to be told.
Mm-hmm.
Going to doctors, going to, even counselors and psychologists. They're going to try and teach you like coping mechanisms and stuff and maybe give you pills, but you don't know. Right. It's the Wild West.
It is. We'll get there. Eventually, one day in somebody's lifetime, it'll happen. But so my big thing on this is I feel like the mark was missed. The opportunity was lost. And I don't want to get into too much because I know you want to talk about what you had mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you get into that.
So a couple of things. There's a part in this movie where the wolf is telling him how to cut his wrist the right way.
Right.
There's no reason you need to put that in a film about mental illness because someone who is on the edge could be watching this and go, oh.
Right.
Right? I mean, I think that's tasteless.
I would agree. I was not on with that.
Right.
I feel as a filmmaker, here's the deal. So from the beginning of the first film ever made up till this moment in time, there have been so many filmmakers who have had a message, and it's easier to sit you down for 120 minutes and do a whole play about something. But in there is the message. So many messages have been conveyed to us through film, just like with art and any other form of art, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're going to do that, I feel like you have an obligation. You have an obligation as the person steering this or sculpting this or painting this or whatever. You actually need to think about the people you're trying to get the message across for.
Right.
Right? So if you have a movie that's anti-suicide, right? Last thing you need to be doing is having diagrams and lectures and shit in the film on how to do it. Right? Because when you do something like this that has a message, you're asking these people to come see this.
Yeah.
And to me, I would hope the message is a couple of messages. Number one, you're not alone. We know. And we get it. Two, this is as much as I can try to interpret what's going on with you. I want to show people how hard it is. Whatever's going on with you, it's not easy.
Right.
Right? I understand. And
that's, we're with Will.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to figure out what's going on and he's going to doctors. He's maybe not doing a lot of the things that he should do, like talking to his boyfriend in an honest and open way.
But that's a reality.
But it's difficult. It's so difficult.
It's super difficult.
But he's trying.
Mm-hmm.
He understands something is wrong and he is afraid. And he has, his fear is reasonable.
Yes.
Because it is genetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to be constantly told that nothing is wrong is extremely upsetting and a real thing that people deal with all the time.
Absolutely.
And I'm with you, Will. I'm with you 100% of the way up until, what even was the ending of this film? Like, what were we supposed to take from it?
So here's two things. One, the ending, which will come in a second.
And then right before the ending, the super breakdown and the weird rape scene.
Yeah, that, and you said it exactly right. In too many films, when shit like that is happening, someone thinks it's a good idea to, now they're going to fuck.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, it's a double-sided coin, isn't it? because someone who's in a fragile emotional state might view sex as a way to alleviate some of that stress and that tension. And they might aggressively almost go to their partner and be like, let's fuck.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because they're like, that can pull me out of this. That can, that's going to help me in the moment. And I get that.
And that's a physical thing. And there's chemicals. I mean, there's booze, drugs. I mean, it all sits on that platter. I get all that.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the flip side to that flip side.
Mm-hmm.
No right-thinking individual on this planet would have their partner come to them in the middle of a breakdown, say, let's fuck, it'll make everything better, and do it.
Yeah.
Right? I can't. Unless, I guess, I don't know. Are we going to say
I guess technically Luke wasn't real in that scene.
He wasn't real in that scene, but I don't like the depiction of it.
No.
That whole thing shouldn't have even been in there. So let's talk about it like he was there.
Sure.
I was immediately infuriated and upset of the whole, and I checked out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, nope, this was a wrong creative decision. I'm sorry, man. I can't back you on this.
And then, even before it got weird and violent, that is rape.
Yes. When somebody is mentally diminished by emotion, whatever, affliction or whatever, yeah, they by law, let's forget morals, but by law, they're incapable of rendering a decision of consent.
Yes.
Right? That's why we have lawyers who deal especially with that. That was my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
And I would like to see this shit not showing up in movies anymore.
Yeah. It's just awful.
It is. So let's talk about the ending.
Okay.
What the hell kind of ending even is this? I didn't like the like 80-second wrap up.
Yeah.
In almost like flowery music and
like Luke's here with me, but the wolf's here with me, and this is just my life now, I guess. It's cool.
Yeah. I will say I did like the three of them on the bench. Because I know
I
you
understand the
like,
symbology.
Because it is his life now.
Yeah.
Because it will never go away. It can only be managed, minimized. And God, what a difference that can make for someone who has to go through this if they have someone with them. A
someone
partner.
And the tools and
friends
support.
And family are important, but if you've got a good partner, oh man, I'm not going to say it makes it easier, but it's more reliable. And I think those folks get to go a little further in their healing and controlling it, because we all know family, as loving as they can be, right? It's family. Friends, they're great, but it's the partner,
right,
that fills all those little gaps that
the job of a partner is to help you be a better person.
Yeah.
And ideally you return that to them, right?
Yes.
in some way, shape, or form. And that's going to fill a niche that no one else can fill. You're with your partner more than you are with anybody else, typically, unless it's not a good partner or not a good relationship, right?
Right.
They're the person who's there all the time.
That's just it. And I don't know if it was intended, but part of what I saw in that last scene was, I don't know how else. I can't say it was done incorrectly because I wouldn't know how to express this on paper or on screen, but the acceptance of not just Will, that this fucking wolf is there the whole time.
But Luke.
Mm-hmm. And that is the whole thing with partner. You got to have that partner. It's like, okay, you know what? It's never going to change. It's never going to go away. There'll be good days, bad days. But you know what? We're going to ride that fucking horse together.
Yeah.
We'll ride that bitch into the fire and we'll ride it into the pool and everything in between. I'm here. And that is powerful.
It is.
I don't know if anyone else will see it that way. Who's watched this, or if I'm even on track with it.
Yeah.
Up to that moment though, that whole montage thing, it was,
yeah.
it could have done better in that regard, because this is supposed to have been a long, horrific roller coaster ride to this, with this man who just can't escape
Yeah.
the reality of what's going on with him.
And I mean, I do think in a way this movie accomplishes what it set out to do, which is to get people talking about mental illness.
Oh, yes.
Because you and I have been talking about this passionately for like a few days.
Yes.
Since we watched it.
There's a lot of good to come from this.
Yeah.
So the criticisms, and this is mine, like I said, sex for no reason in any film just doesn't belong, because that's just like Howard Stern shock level bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not about that. We're better than that. Creatives are better than that. We can do better.
Yeah.
We need to do better.
I mean, sex is a crutch people use when they're not creative enough to figure out something else to do with the scene.
Yeah. It always reminds me of like Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, where you just stop everything.
Sure.
And someone, like I said, okay, everyone grab a chair. There's going to be some fucking, what does that have to do? This is an action movie. Oh, no. We're going to have 11 and a half minutes of just solid sex.
Like every James Bond movie.
Well, let's not go there.
None of those movies need those sex scenes.
They don't. But, how else do you know that James Bond is a ladies' man? When we get into serious issues, we've had movies about feminism, about abuse, about, how horrible it has been for people of color, for people of sexual preferences that aren't puritanistic, to get along in the world, and how it's still, I mean, we haven't really gotten anywhere with any of this. It's still a fucking nightmare for anybody who's not part of the WASP group. You know what I mean? And it's maddening. It's enraging. Like I said, as creators, we can do better, and we have to do better, and we need to be more sensitive. If there's a message, we need to think about the people that we're putting the message out for.
Right.
And let's be gentle with them. We're trying to help them, not push them over the fucking edge or enable them to do something terrible to themselves.
Yeah.
Or anybody else, but self-harm. I mean, this movie covered a lot of the stuff, right? So there's the hallucinations, there's the nobody knows what the fuck's going on with you, and they're just passing you off.
There's the actual physical symptoms, such as like passing out.
Yes. Yes. And then self-harm, thinking of harming others.
Right.
Like his mom tried to kill him.
Yeah.
That wasn't just made up bullshit.
Well, and then he thought he killed his mom during his big break.
Exactly.
There's, the interrelationships. Like, it's a lot easier for him to help Sasha than it is to help himself.
Yes. We talked about his snide comment.
Yes.
Yeah. On
when she has her panic attack.
Yeah. She's like, well, who was it? Who helps you get through yours?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I do it myself.
He said, I don't have panic attacks anymore. I've fixed myself.
And in that moment, I thought, dick.
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, but as it goes on, that's the thing I did like about this movie, is it made you think one thing, a reaction to a scene or a person or whatever, and then a few minutes later,
you're like, hold on.
Yeah, let's back this up. Wide picture. I see now. Okay. That's his coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
There it is again.
Time for you to go to bed.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, I would have turned it off, but folks, I'm on call.
Yeah.
I can't silence my stuff. So I really respect the writing in that regard and the way it was filmed.
There are a lot of things very well done.
That
here.
You make a snap judgment like, what a tool.
Yeah.
But then that is how it is. There are people who are going through shit who can help other people, right? Because anybody can help anybody if you know what to do and stuff.
Oh, all the time.
Right. But he wasn't being a dick. He was in denial.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I do it myself. Because that's the thing. People who suffer from mental illness of any kind are reticent to share with anybody what's going on, ask for help, or anything.
And the reason is because when you do, you get told nothing's wrong with you.
Right. Or you get stigmatized. So,
yeah.
So this whole scene that we're talking about, this beautiful interaction of this guy, we didn't know the full scope of his issues. right? But we knew there were going to be some because we just saw what happened in his childhood.
Right. And we watched the trailer.
But this beautiful human being helped this woman. But what if he had his headphones up? What if he had walked to the next aisle and started doing something? She was in there by herself, absolutely coming unfucking hinged in a little closet. And that, to me, once this all had a chance to meld and spread through my mind, I think this is probably one of the most magnificent visualizations that we have had in film about this. Because now sitting talking about it, we can spend a week going on about this.
Yeah.
So she's in there. That represents the isolation, the terror, the fear. She was not totally hip on the fact that he was coming in.
No.
Right? She, go. But he stuck it. She was being kind of a bitch. Just in a breakdown, you're not really pleasant.
No.
Right? She's in a panic. How else is she going to act?
Yeah.
But he stuck it. He stuck through it. And then he hit that landing and found the thing that, against her will, her own brain betrayed her by, oh yeah, we're going to focus on this. And she got into it and it happened. And that was awesome. Like, there's a lot of good to this, but those sticking points, I think, are where it falls short. But there's so much to learn from this, not just how people are dealing with mental illness,
right?
But filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
This is a good example. This is the way visually it fucks with you.
Oh yeah.
I'm A+ on that.
Yeah.
A+ on that for sure, because the subject matter is uncomfortable enough. For me, when we sat down and fired this up, I already had some apprehension. Like, what am I getting into?
I mean, it is, yeah.
It
is interesting, to think about, but it's also like with those visualizations, they're very much on point. Like, have you ever been in the woods and you're getting kind of freaked out, right? You're maybe alone, maybe someone's with you, but like there are weird noises, or you're in any situation where you're scared and uncomfortable and you feel that that anxiety, that panic start to creep in. Maybe no one, maybe other people don't, feel this sometimes, but I think a lot of people do. And you turn and you like see something.
Right.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
But it's nothing.
I guess the thing about this, and we'll start wrapping it up here. For me, for both of us, we've been adjacent our whole lives to this kind of thing, varying degrees. And I think the movie does a magnificent just existing in this context, in the subject matter, writing failings or whatever, and opinions. I think it's an important piece of work. I wish a few choices had been different, but overall, it technically, folks, follow it. Morally, try to do something like it. Let's get some messages out there, and let's show some beauty and kindness to people who need it. And so I'm looking at it, right, from my perspective. It's not just mental illness, like her panic attack. Panic attack is a mental illness, but it's literally just panic. I don't want to say just panic, but it's panicking. Now, all of us have been through a point in life where we panic about something.
Right.
Right. And how we as individuals deal with that is widely varied.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I'm the panic guy in the house.
You worry.
Well, I worry, but I don't panic. When there's a situation that calls for panic, I'm the one who's like, hold on. Here we go. I've got the plan. I got what's going on. Because I've worried for years and years about a number of things. So I kind of have my responses there. But also early on in my life, I've had training and stuff. In situations, you can't fucking panic. Now, we know some people who the slightest thing, they're done for the day.
Yeah.
They're never going to, even if you step in and fix that, whatever caused the panic in like a minute, the aftermath lasts for fucking ever.
Yeah.
It's not a mental illness. It's just how they can't deal and process.
People deal and process stress differently.
Exactly.
Like people process grief differently.
Mm-hmm. And the key between all those, between me, who's like, hey, and I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just what I do. I live for fucking problems. It's like the only time I'm actually able to be like fully on. Okay. But people who have an illness that puts them into a panic attack, they don't get to have someone just say, okay, it's taken care of. And they're like, oh, thank goodness.
Right. No, they're like, but what about this? What about this? What about
exactly.
that? What about this?
And in there, I mean, this was a very realistic depiction of him pulling her out of it. But there are people who will be stuck in that full-on panic mode for hours and hours, sometimes days. People who have it that bad, right? Anyway, we don't rate movies, but I would give this like a 7 out of 10. I only knock off 3 because of the things I didn't like.
I mean, here's the thing. Any movie that is about a subject that is important to, bringing light to a subject to society, right? Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of these over, the course of film.
Yeah.
And over the course of literature, over the course of art, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And the first efforts at it, and I'm not saying this is the first effort at it. Right. But every effort at it is a new iteration that gets progressively better and better and better. The first movie, I'm thinking of like some of the first movies about transgender people or about, LGBTQ relationships and stuff weren't done by people within that sphere, but they were done by people trying to, bring light or do a message or something about that sphere.
Yes.
And there were a lot of stumbles.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good intentions, bad outcome. And I'm not saying this movie is a good intention, bad outcome, but I'm saying I'm giving it the grace of being a good intentioned film.
And it is. And it's actually a good outcome.
It is.
Like I said, there's just those couple moments I creatively have huge disagreements with.
Yeah.
But overall, it's worth seeing. There's a lot technically, folks, that you can learn from and aspire to achieve. And it like I said, I'm glad it exists, and I hope people do. I hope our listeners watch it. I hope more people see it. Mm-hmm. It jumps also back to, before we dive off of this, I had mentioned about categories. My biggest gripe, and longtime listeners will know this, I hate that we categorize movies as LGBTQ. I hate it because I'm hoping in my lifetime there'll be a day when I wake up where we don't categorize that. I know why we do. I know why they are categorized, right? But I would just like to wake up where it's normal, because it is normal.
Yeah.
Right? I hate having to put terms to things. I hate having to put names of colors and ethnicities to people and orientations and identities and stuff. I hate that we have to do that. And I know we have to do it because we have to do it to bring it out.
Yeah.
We have to bring it to the notice. And it's just like such a fucking endless battle. And I know this has nothing to do with film, folks, but I just want to wake up where nobody can categorize anything like this anymore, because it's just fucking normal.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to get there.
Oh, I know. And we probably won't before my life is over. I just keep my fingers crossed, because everyone deserves it to happen.
I mean, not to go off on a tangent, I know we're trying to wrap up, but you think about the movie Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks' Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
People who watch that movie now, who are unaware of or don't consider the time that film was made in and what it was talking about at that point in history, look at Blazing Saddles and go, what the fuck?
Who watched this?
This movie is wildly inappropriate.
Yes.
Right? And It is wildly inappropriate.
Yes.
But the point of that was to draw attention and make fun of those things that were wildly inappropriate. I mean, what Mel Brooks was doing was jabbing and poking at the people who were, not putting Black people in film.
And lead films.
Right.
As leads
in films.
Yes.
And, all that other stuff that he was talking about. I mean, he pokes at anti-Semites, obviously, right? He pokes at a lot of people in that movie. But if you don't have that context, that movie is just a wild,
it is a wild ride.
trip.
And that's so funny because people who see, and that's not the only film.
Right.
It's not the only film. There's a lot of films that were like that were confronting the inappropriateness of everything at the time.
Yes.
The TV show, I've mentioned it a couple of times, All in the Family.
Yeah.
Man, that did not age well.
No.
Right. But I got to tell you what, folks, Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton, Edith and Archie Bunker, right? Archie Bunker is wildly racist. He's just everything bad. Yeah. That character is everything bad. But as a human being, the actor was one of the most loving, open-minded, and he agreed to take this role. And he's like, we're going to do stuff with this.
Yeah. We're
going to put everything on screen. And we are, at the end of the night, we're going to make America watch it.
Yeah.
And put it, and that's what they did. So back then it was inappropriate for its time, but people don't understand that level of inappropriateness is not the same as today's level of inappropriateness. But the intentions were to bring us from then to today.
Yes.
Where we have slightly different kinds of inappropriate.
Yeah.
Right? Which means there's been a little progress.
And I hope in 20 years, someone will watch Hypochondriac and be like, wow, what a wildly inappropriate movie. Because we'll have moved so far past, into the discussion space.
Wouldn't that be just the best?
Right?
Long story short, folks, the movie's good. Again, hit the Patreon, hit the website, everything. If you go to lordsofmisrulproductions.com, there is an email link to contact us, info@lordsofmisrulproductions.com. Talk to us.
Yeah. Do you just want to talk about an episode? Do you disagree with us? Do you agree with us? Do you want us to watch something? Did you do something? Were you in something? Do you know about something?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Tell us what you're working on. We've said it before. If it's something we can see, we'll watch it. We'll cover it. Got to be ready for it.
Yes.
Got to be ready for it. Because we're honest. And, maybe we'll have you on the show. If you work in the industry, behind the scenes, let's talk to you. Let's talk about the music that you write. Let's talk about how you light things. Let's talk about some adventures you've had on sets that, we don't normally hear about.
Yeah. I love talking to anybody in this business. We talked to a script doctor.
Yeah.
On this show at one point.
Yeah. Because it's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And it's interesting and good to know, So,
with that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Well, we won't see you, will we?
No.
I just fumbled that so bad.
That's okay. I do it all the time.
Oh my gosh.
I think I did it last time too. Blah, 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 blah.
This is Bravo for the B-side. I'm Danny.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time.
Bye, B-siders.